Hello, it's me. I'm back. Happy New Year, everyone. It's 2024 and no one knows really how that happened. That also means that it's time to recap everything I made in 2023. I made a whole lot of stuff, which is kind of in a pile on the bed behind me right now. And there were some things that worked and there were some things that didn't. I learned some new things, both sewing and also about myself. And so today's little recap is gonna be a little different to just like running through everything. I'm gonna rate things. I'm gonna rate things on like what worked, what didn't, what I would change, and then there's definitely gonna be a few things that end up in the pile that need fixing. So let's dive right in. The first thing I made last year, 2023, was this dress, which you might remember from another video that I made. It was a bed sheet. It was literally about a year ago that I went and I picked up a former bed sheet and another tablecloth, which I still haven't made up, but I'm gonna make that into a top very soon. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Anyway, I went into this without a plan, without a pattern, without a real vision. I just started cutting and honestly, it's a bit of a fail. I think I've only worn this in public once. It doesn't really work, and I'm just gonna quickly throw it on now and show you why it doesn't work. I do like how the front turned out, and I like that I figured out how to do the half elasticated skirt part, but the way that I did these straps mean that the sides gape a lot. So this one is definitely gonna go in the needs fixing pile. I do appreciate this project though, because I really tried to switch off my brain and just dive right in. And I feel like I learned a lot about self-drafting and about just like transforming something. So yeah, I'm gonna put that on the pile to be fixed. Next. I'm gonna move on to something that was a success. I don't have a video of these, but I did include them in a video about some outfit ideas that I made. Someone commented on that video that they wanted to see a tutorial of how I made these pants. These are from a pattern. Anything that involves a pattern, I will put it in the little chapter title and I'll try and link it below if it exists like on the internet somewhere. This is the fabric that I bought in Hiroshima 7 years ago when I was living in Japan, and same with like this little bit on the back. I actually ran out of fabric to make these pants and I didn't realize until too late. Luckily I had some other yellow stuff left over. Yeah, I love these pants. I made these like just before we went to Japan. We went to Japan in May and I wore them and I felt really great because yeah, they're just like a really nice pair of pants. I modified the pattern slightly and I am gonna do a little tutorial on making another pair of these because I do love them. I was a bit on the fence to be honest, and then my husband said that they looked really cool and he thought that they looked cool, and you know, we're all just here for external validation anyway, so I'll take it. I will take it. And I like these and I'll put in some pictures right here. These were a definite win. These don't need any adjustments. I love these though. They're so comfy and I want like 5 more. So I'm gonna make more and I'll show you how I do it. I feel like there was a bit of a scale that I developed to rate these things, and that was like quality, fun, difficulty, I don't know, and like adventurousness. I'm just gonna add another one in. So quality, I feel like I did a really good finish on these, so 10 out of 10. Fun, very fun because the fabric is fun, and I didn't film it for YouTube, which kind of made it a bit more fun because filming stuff for YouTube always takes like a little bit more time and effort and energy, and it just like can sometimes get a bit woo. Fun, did I already say fun? Adventurousness, not very adventurous, very simple sort of pattern because I had a pattern to follow. What else was on the scale that I mentioned just now? Anyway, these are a definite win. I love these. I love them. They're great. All right, this is another fail. I have not worn this in public. This was something that I attempted to copy from a top that I saw online. I feel like I did a good job with copying the style, and I couldn't be bothered with a zipper, so I made these little ties at the back, which I actually think works really well. The fail comes from the fact that I used some of the leftover bedsheet from the bedsheet dress, and this cotton is just like way too thick and it's way too chunky. It's not the best. I could probably do with trying to wear it somewhere and see how we go. It actually looks kind of cute with this skirt. It looks kind of cute with this skirt. Anyway, I'm glad that I had another sort of self-drafting adventure because it taught me a lot. I am, as you might know, I really love to follow a pattern. I'm not very big on the thrift flip thing just yet, and self-drafting is not a huge forte of mine just yet, but yeah, I feel like I'm learning a lot. Other thing that I would change about this is I would have not used this cord. This cord is for like curtains or like pulling up blinds, and it doesn't feel very fashion. Anyway, that's a fail. Probably just gonna like put it in the memories pile, and it'll live in my wardrobe for another couple of years, and then I'll be like, hey, you should really chuck that out. Okay, moving on to a self-drafting win. This is a total win, and there is a video you can watch about this dress. This is a dress where I attempted to make a dupe of a dish dress that I've advertised. But basically, I do a lot of sewing because I see things that I want that cost money, and I think to myself, you could make that yourself, and then I go and I make it myself, and 99% of the time it works out okay. 1% of the time it does not work out okay, like the white top. But this was total win. This is my first time doing a rolled hem on anything, and it turned out okay. There were probably some adjustments that I'll make next time, but I'm happy with it generally. The fabric is a bit stretchier than I had thought it might be. I made this the night before a final uni submission. I thought that I had fully rocked the submission, so I submitted at like, I don't know, 8 p.m. It was due by like 10 p.m. and I was like, I'm gonna make a dress and wear it to crit day tomorrow. And so I made this. I had cut it out, and then I tried to like quickly throw it together. Overlocker was not behaving, so the rolled hem actually took a while, and then I just got so frustrated with it that I just kind of did a really fast job on it. And a couple of days later we were going to Japan, and I knew that I wanted to have a long dress to wear while we were over there. So I really wanted to get it done. So the quality on this is pretty poor. You can see under the arm here, there's like a bit of the rolled hem that's not quite catching any fabric. I also made it way too long to start off with, and then I had to take it up a lot. Love this. Love it, love it, love it. Segue straight on to another success story, self-drafting rolled hem adventures, is this little top that I made, which I'm going to put on right now. I absolutely love this top, and if you watch my videos, you probably have seen it in quite a few videos because I just love wearing it. It's just some leftover fabric from the dress that I just whipped into a top with a little tortoiseshell ring on the front, inspired by Rachel Metz, who is DIY queen extraordinaire. And if she ever watches this, then hi Rachel, very inspirational. I love you. You're hot stuff. Jeez, if I wasn't married. Anyway, quality, the finish is a little bit better than on the dress. Basically, I'm probably gonna make another 5 of these just because they're very easy to make, very satisfying to make, really great to wear when you want to like show a bit of skin, which is usually me. If I could get around naked all the time, I would. But just still knocking things out of the park. This is another success story, but it needs some alterations. This is the top I made to talk about pattern hacking and what is pattern hacking. And quite a few of you found my channel from that video. So hello, and thank you for still being here. I didn't know that video was actually gonna be something that people would watch. So I really appreciate that. Anyway, I love this top. I haven't worn it that much because of the way that I finished off the waistband and the fastening. And I'll show you the issue right now. So when I did this top, I just put a little press stud down here, and then I did the tie on the side because this is the top half of what is meant to be a wrap dress. Anyway, as the day wears on and I wear this starts to gape a lot and the facing kind of comes out, and that's not ideal. So I realized after I finished making this top, the reason that this works as a dress is because of the weight of the skirt would hold all of this in place. I think I mentioned it in the video that I probably should have made a waistband for this, and I definitely should have made a waistband for this, which I will do very soon. I'm gonna put it on my things to update my not mistakes, just like adjustments need to be made. Anyway, I'm calling it a win. Quality is high. I did a French seam up here. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, but yeah, it needs some adjustments. So that's gonna go in the to be fixed pile. Okay, next thing. Next thing is this top, which, as you can tell from my face, I'm already considering a bit of a fail. Because I've only worn it once, and that's because I forced myself to wear it. I've had this pattern, bing, for a little while that I wanted to make. And on the back it does say that this works with a thicker, a ponte knit. Anyway, this is quite a thin jersey, and so the shape just doesn't work in the way that it's meant to work. Also, these are not my colors. They're not my colors. Anyway, that's kind of a fail. I might give it to someone. Hands up, who wants it? Anyone want it? I'll send it to you. You can have a Steph Kennedy original. Anyone? No? Okay, that's on the fail pile. Okay, here is an unexpected success story from the year 2023, and that is these little guys, which are some pot holders that I made in the midst of moving house. I whipped these up in an evening to practice quilting because I'd never done any machine quilting before. I've never done any hand quilting either. I'm really glad I made these because I use them a lot. You can see some marks on them. And also, like, a lot of people found my channel through the video that I made about these too. So, hello. I feel like, hello. I do that in the intro if anyone notices. This is like an unexpected success story. This is now like the second most successful video on my channel ever. And I love these. They're great. There's a little pocket on one side so they don't fall off your hands when you're getting stuff out of the oven. It's also really good, this pocket, if you're worried that something's like super duper 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 hot, you can like fold that up and then grab it again. Sometimes I do that when something's really hot. Big success, very simple, high quality, although next time I'll just do a diagonally 45 check rather than this weird 30-degree angle that I did. Love them, love them. If you want to know how to make them, go watch the other video after this one. This is something that gets 10 out of 10 on complexity because not only was it part following a indie pattern, it was part self-drafting and part negotiating a limited amount of fabric. And yeah, I'm really, really, really happy with this. Let's just do that. This is a dress that I made to wear to my cousin's wedding. This is also my first time that I made a toile. I had no idea that the concept of a toile even existed until like a couple of years ago because, I don't know, usually I just dive right in with the fabric. But basically, if you don't know what a toile is a draft garment where you can kind of test out techniques and fit before you cut it out of the real fabric. I feel like what I have done in my life is I have made what would be termed wearable toiles, where you kind of make the first version of something and it's wearable, but then you take what you learn from that experience and you transfer it onto the next thing you make of the same pattern. I have done that before. I just didn't know that there was a name for that kind of concept. Anyway, this dress is a bit of a mashup between something that I toiled myself and then I used Gracie Steele's frolic frock pattern to get the bodice shape. The bit that I toiled was this ruched piece on the front. I had this idea in my head, I had a vision, and I knew that I wanted that across the bust. And then I used Gracie Steele's pattern for the bodice, and what ended up happening was I had this vision of making a short dress and then an underskirt so that when you wear the two together it ends up looking like a lovely gown, which was appropriate to wear to a wedding, but then also you get like two pieces that are separate that you can wear separately, obviously. Duh. What happened was, like, I was having a lot of fun with the dress, but it was getting down to crunch time for both the deadline of the wedding and also some uni deadlines, and so I knew I needed to just like scramble and get things finished. What I did was I cut fabric in a dumb way and ended up with not enough to make the skirt that I had in mind. So what I did was I hacked up an old skirt of mine with this pink skirt, which was like one of my favorite things to wear ever in the world, but it had a bleach stain on it and it was coming apart. So I just made the top part of the skirt and added the bottom half of the old skirt, and then it ended up looking like this. And I feel like it turned out really nicely. Then another annoying thing happened. When I was having all the trouble with the skirt, I googled it to see if there was any more fabric available, and there was not. It said it was sold out. Anyway, as soon as I posted this on Instagram, Bernina Warehouse was like, oh, we still have some of this left. We'll post it for sale. So rather than letting anyone else get their hands on it, I bought it, and I'm gonna put this skirt in the to be updated pile so that I can finally realize the vision for this skirt, which is to have the whole thing be the pink roses, and then when I wear it all together I will just look like a lovely pink rose extravaganza. I just got this off the line, so it's a bit crinkly, but this is something that I whipped up one evening after work before I went to see Caroline Polacek in concert at the Emil Theatre, and it was like the most incredible gig I've ever been to. Oh my god. It was incredible. absolutely incredible. Yeah, so I got home from work, decided that I was feeling flat and that some sewing would cheer me up. So I got out a little shirt that I had bought from Vinnie's several months ago that had this lace trim all around the bottom. It had like a little lapel moment, it had a little lace on the sleeve moment. I'll try and insert some b-roll if I find it here. I decided not to record this for YouTube because I had like a deadline of like 3 hours to get this all finished, and I got there. I feel like it works really well. I'm gonna put it on. It's definitely a bit of a 90s revival moment happening, and as someone who lived through it the first time, and when I say 90s, I mean 2000s revival, this like whole like Y2K thing. And for someone who lived through it the first time, I was born in 1990, so you can do the math, figure out how old I am. Yeah, it basically, this is a style that maybe like a 20-year-old could get away with wearing. And then I was like, you know what? You're 33, you are allowed to wear what you want, especially if you can make it yourself. Anyway, I got some inspiration from Pinterest. It has an open back, so it's a bit fun. I managed to keep a lot of the lace intact. I did some French seams on the inside. This is a win. The quality of the fabric is not amazing, therefore the quality of the make is also not amazing, but I don't care because I've already worn this several times in public and I love it and it makes me feel good. This is something that I make, that I use, that I made a video about. It's a little water bottle holder that I made from a little bit of leftover yellow stuff. And I feel like this video doesn't get enough love, so go watch it because this thing's really handy. It fits all the water bottles that I own. And then I swapped out the rings that I originally used for these little clippy doodahs. And when you go on a little walk, you can take on a little hike, you can take your water with you and you can take your keys really easily. And I think I'm gonna add another little attachment for my phone. And then it's like a little bag that I can shift around and change. And I use it a lot. That's a win. The other win of the year, in terms of sewing things that aren't clothes, are these bags that I made. I made them from pillowcases from IKEA. I had a vision hit me in the face. I was like, hey, what if I took one of those cushion covers and turned it into a bag? And I did exactly that. And there's also a video about it. I love these. I was gonna give this to someone at Christmas time, but I couldn't decide who deserved it. I'm keeping this one for myself because it's really fun because it has the pom-poms on it. But yeah, if there's someone else who wants this, get in touch. Maybe I'll send it to you. And I love them. There's like a little pouch on the inside for your phone and a little clip for your keys. Anyway, that's a win. Okay, the last couple of things that I made. I made this little shirt. My first day I was on holidays over Christmas. It was meant to have a collar, but I accidentally cut out the wrong thing. It's a really old men's pajamas pattern, but I wanted to make a little shirt that I could wear over my cozy when I go to the beach. Just a little cover-up sort of thing. I think it's cute. But I do want to add some rickrack around the edge, just to give it a little bit of spice. I like it. It's in the win pile. It's also very high quality make, if I do say so myself. What's happening? I think I just broke my camera. Whoops. Don't know what's going on there. Anyway, manual focus it is. Hopefully I stay in the zone that's in focus. The last thing, the very last thing that I made. Actually, second last thing. So I think the pièce de résistance for the year was obviously this thrift flip set that I made. This cute little top probably needs some adjustments, and I'm gonna change the buttons as I mentioned in the video that I made about it. Oh shit. I'm really happy with this skirt and top situation. I have already worn them both a couple of times since I made them like 2 weeks ago. I would like to clarify something though. Someone commented about taking something that was designed for a plus size person and making it into something for a not plus size person, and I would like to address that please now. How am I going to say this without sounding like really snarky? I am fully aware of the challenges that plus size people face when they're going to a thrift shop and trying to find things that fit. I always shop within my size range. Maybe like if it's my size but not fitting very well, then I'll get it and I'll adjust it to myself. I'll tailor it to myself. But with this make, the original size given to the original garment was an extra small. That is the smallest size this dress comes in. If it was a medium, I probably would have left it on the shelf for someone else to pick up. I am an extra small and small. That is how my genetics are. I have always been that size. That is how my body is. It is how I am built. I know that from the other video that this original garment looked pretty large. It was not. It was a size extra small, and elements of that would not have fit someone who needs a medium or a large size, such as the size of the neck opening may not have fit around someone with larger shoulders, for example. And also the fit from across the shoulders, I already have very broad shoulders and it was tight on me. So anyone who's taller, larger, wider, it might not have fit very well. And also across the bust, I know that generally as you get into larger sizes, you often have a larger bust. It might not have fit very well across the bust. The oversized portion of the dress was definitely from the waist down. Someone who is larger might have picked it up and made a skirt out of it, but I would like to say that I really hope that I didn't put anyone off. I want to defend the choice that I made by picking up an extra small garment. And yeah, I know that it's a very sensitive thing for people. I disagree with kind of YouTube people who thrift flip stuff from a very large size into a very small size. I completely disagree with that, and that's not something that you will ever see me do. So please forgive me for taking what seemed like an oversized garment and making it into a small one, but it did start off as an extra small size. And I'll leave it at that. The last thing that I attempted to make for the year, that I have not yet finished actually, but I would like to give it a mention, is this skirt. This is a denim skirt that I have been trying to make for at least a few months now. Also, before you come at me about transforming a large pair of jeans into a small skirt, these were my husband's jeans. They had a giant hole in the crotch to make it into a skirt for someone who needs a larger size. It might not have been possible. These were never for sale in a thrift shop. These were in the pile to be thrown in the bin by my husband, and I like to think that I rescued them and gave them a second life. Anyway, I've almost finished making this skirt. I have run out of top stitching thread, which is holding me up, and I also need a way to I need to get a button or something for how to tack this down. I'm counting as a 2023 make because it was something that sat in my brain for a long time. Also, I recorded some of the process, but not all of the process. And if you want to see me talk about the steps that I made to make this skirt, then let me know in the comments and I will put it together. I don't know if it's going to be a tutorial per se, but I will talk you through what I did. One more thing I'll say about the jeans turned into denim skirt. Yes, there was a hole in the crotch. Yes, probably could have patched it. I asked him if I patched it, would he keep wearing the jeans? And he said no. It was a really, really big hole. It would have been a really, really big patch. And I don't think that anyone else at Vinnie's would appreciate it either. And I saw an opportunity and I took it. Please don't come at me. Please don't cancel me. But I really like the skirt. And maybe I'm completely contradicting everything I just said about transforming something large into something small. At least it's not in the bin. At least it's not in the bin. At least it's not in the bin, which is where he almost put them. That wraps up everything that I made this year or attempted to make. There were a few things that were definite wins. The fails taught me a few things about self-drafting, like having a clear idea. I think that the reason that this top worked out a little better than the other things that I decided to self-draft is that I had a very clear vision about what I wanted it to be and I was very intentional with it. And then, yeah, 2024 is going to be all about making more stuff, showing you guys the process, and I hope that you continue to be here. Tell me what your favorite thing was from everything I made this year. And if there's something that you want to see me make because you're maybe thinking about making something similar or you're just like not sure, then write it below and I'll see what I can do, and I'll see if there's a project that I have kind of lined up that maybe I can bring forward a little bit. And hopefully when we do the recap of 2024, I'll have a much more aesthetic setup and I can actually try things on properly and show you the full thing. Thanks so much for being here. I'm having a really great time. I hope you are as well. I wish you all the best for 2024 and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!